You are listening to Book Clips, a mini podcast in which authors or narrators do readings from novels. Check out the show notes for the synopsis and buy links for this book.
Hi, this is A.L. Brooks, and I'm going to be reading from One Way or Another. A trickle of sweat rolled down the back of Sarah's neck, and she grinned, standing up on her pedals to give the simulated hill climb the energy it deserved. She was panting, and her quads were screaming, but the endorphins flooding her system meant pure joy ran through her body rather than pain. She'd drifted off with her thoughts while riding, her mind, much to her surprise, returning to her interlude with Bethany at the shop on Friday night, rather than the pleasant afternoon with Evelyn and Jonathan only yesterday. Something about Bethany kept tugging at her. It was inexplicable. After getting shot down by a woman, something that rarely happened anyway, Sarah usually forgot about them and moved on. But not so with Bethany, and this puzzled her. Maybe she should hit one of the clubs next weekend, see about breaking this poor run she was on. The timer on the exercise bike reached her 30-minute target, and the bike slowed into cool-down mode. She flopped back onto the saddle and eased the pace of her legs, her arms folded onto the frame in front of her. If someone had told her in her early teens, when she had hated PE lessons with a passion and did all she could not to take part in any sports events at school, that she'd be sitting here now, relishing the afterglow of her workout, she would have laughed in their faces. Her phone rang, and she snatched it up from its perch on the little shelf built into the bike's handlebars. Caller display showed her aunt's name. "Hi, Evelyn. Everything okay?" "Hello, Sarah. You sound out of breath. Am I interrupting anything?" There was a smirk in her aunt's voice, and Sarah grinned. "No, you dirty old woman. I've just finished a workout on the bike." "Good. I am pleased that it is still making such a difference to you." "Yep, it is. You can totally take the credit for that." "Yes. Well, it was that or pay for your rehab, dear. The bicycle was cheaper." Sarah laughed out loud, but her stomach flipped at the truth of Evelyn's words. Evelyn had without doubt rescued Sarah from a deep, dark pit of overindulgence and life-wasting behaviour some years ago, and Sarah would always be grateful for that. "True. Anyway," she rushed on before emotion overwhelmed her, "what can I do for you? I only saw you yesterday." "I know, but I blame my age. I forgot to remind you about the charity dinner this week. You are still coming with me, yes?" "Of course. Wouldn't miss it for anything." Evelyn, like many women with substantial means, supported a variety of charities and actually had a seat on the board of a few. Sarah was often her partner for their swanky events, where she enjoyed seeing Evelyn back in her element, the centre of attention, entertaining everyone within earshot. While they tended to tire Evelyn out now, she still sparkled during these events, and it brought deep joy to Sarah to see her aunt so lit up. "Excellent. I shall see you on Wednesday then, 7 o'clock sharp." "Yes, ma'am." Evelyn chuckled and hung up. Sarah reached for the small towel tucked into the waistband at the back of her shorts and wiped down her sweaty face before climbing down off the bike and heading towards the bathroom. Her apartment boasted the kind of bathroom normally reserved for classy hotels, and it was one of the main reasons she'd purchased the flat some years ago. The mortgage had stretched her back then, but 2 promotions in 3 years had eased that financial burden somewhat. As she crossed the apartment, bright morning sunshine spilled into the open-plan lounge, kitchen and dining area from the double doors that led out to the balcony. And that was the other main reason she'd bought the flat. The view from that small outside space, overlooking the water, was sublime. As she reached the bathroom, her phone trilled from where she'd only just left it on the kitchen counter. She could have let it go to voicemail, but something pulled her across the room to at least see who was calling, thinking that perhaps it was Evelyn again with another forgotten reminder. It was, however, an unrecognised number. Normally she would let such a call go to voicemail for sure, but inexplicably her hand was reaching out to swipe the answer button and her mouth was saying, "Hello? Hi, Sarah?" The voice sounded vaguely familiar, but she couldn't place it. "Yes, who is this?" "Hi, it's Bethany, from the shop on Friday evening." The fading glow from her exercise returned in full force. Well, well, well. "Hello, Bethany from the shop. How lovely to hear from you." Bethany gave a half laugh. "Yes, well, I was thinking about what you said, about going for a drink. I was wondering if you were still interested." Her voice held more than a hint of nerves, and Sarah found herself wanting to tread far more lightly than she would have done with anyone else. Of course, she said, softening her tone, taking the teasing lilt out of it. I definitely am. I'm very happy you called. Oh, good. There was a long silence, and Sarah wondered if Bethany had used up all her confidence in simply making this call in the first place, in which case Sarah had confidence in abundance and was happy to give things a shove. It might be short notice, but are you free this evening by any chance? There was a sound like a little squeak. Yes, actually, that would be fine. Great. Sarah pondered the little jig of joy her stomach performed, then pushed it aside. So, whereabouts are you based? I'm in Limehouse. Oh, I'm in Finchley, but I'm close to the tube, so I can meet you anywhere, really. Well, why don't we choose somewhere roughly in the middle between us, so neither of us has to travel too far? Sounds good, but, you'll need to suggest somewhere, as I don't really know where to go. How cute. Once again, something wriggled in Sarah's belly, something pleasant and warm and satisfying, in a way she couldn't describe. She had to swallow before speaking. Right, well, there's a nice wine bar I know, just off Longacre, in Covent Garden. We could meet at around 7. Does that sound okay? What was happening to her? Normally she wasn't so solicitous. Normally she would just say when and where they were meeting and expect the woman to concur. She never checked to see if they were happy with the suggestion. That sounds fine. Could you text me the address? Of course. Okay, great. That's great. Bethany, Sarah said softly, enjoying how the forming of the name felt on her tongue. Yes? Thank you very much for calling. Oh, okay. See you tonight. Something in Bethany's tone told Sarah she was blushing, and that gave Sarah a buzz of something thrilling she couldn't begin to understand. As Sarah put down her phone, she was aware she was smiling, but it wasn't her usual lascivious smile of hunger and anticipation. Instead, it was happy, content. It felt both wonderful and strange, all at the same time. This is A.L. Brooks, and I'm reading from One Way or Another.
You have been listening to Book Clips. Check out the show notes for the synopsis and buy links for this book. If you are interested in showcasing your novel, then check out the show notes for more information.